Here we are, game 1 between LGD and Newbee, and let me just check if my settings are all okay. Already beyond the schedule, so gotta make sure everything's okay. And it doesn't show up that I'm talking in-game, although I do have it set to do so. So we're off to a great start. Let's get into this draft. LGD versus Newbee here at DPL on Friday. And we take a look at both these drafts thus far as Nyx and Magnus banned out by LGD. And for Newbee, Centaur and Coddle. LGD, they pick up the Slardar, while Newbee pick up the Sand King as well as that Abaddon. And right away, we kind of see what the offlane is going to look like for the side of Newbee. You can dual lane these two heroes together, Sand King and Abaddon. And really, we'll have to see what position both of them play, but Sand King in the offlane with Abaddon is always a pretty solid combination. And then for LGD, we see Slardar, we see Silencer. We'll have to see where that Silencer is going, and as well as that Slardar. You know, we've seen a lot of competitive Slardar picks, and, you know, he used to be this big-time off-lane position 3 hero, and he's sort of fallen off from that and is now more of a 4 position instead of an off-laner. So we'll have to see what LGD do with that Slardar pick. They've now picked up the Silencer, and we're right on into the Phase 2 of bans. And up to this point now, yeah, you've got the Global Silence. Of course, there always is the Blink Slithering Crush once that Slardar gets the Blink Dagger. But we'll have to see what happens for this Slardar if they're going to pair it up with a Lifestealer. And obviously, now with that ban of said hero, it's not going to happen. And now Storm Spirit gets banned out by Newbee. So last ban of this second phase, we take a look at both sides. It looks as though both teams need their safe laners. And what really works with these teams, and what have we seen that's been quite popular? Right away, I do notice that Monkey King hasn't been banned out. He is a solid 4 position / offlaner, but it, you know, it would kind of work on LGD's lineup. As for Newbee, I already said it should be a dual lane of Sand King and Abaddon. So last ban of that second phase is going to be the Jug. There's the Crystal Maiden picked up for the 5 spot of Newbee. And let's see what LGD do to really counter this. Good amount of lockdown for Newbee already with the Frostbite and the Burrow Strike. For LGD, they've got the Slithering Crush, but they really need to be able to set it up. So of course, like I said earlier, Blink Dagger on the Slardar, but LGD, they're going to need a couple more stuns for them to really have a reliable team fight. Global Silence can only do so much, and LGD, they do choose to go for the Timber, so we'll have to see if that Timber is where he's at. Could expect him to go off lane. So next pick coming out for Newbee. Still need a mid, still need a safe laner. And try to think about what works well with these teams. And now up against the Timbersaw. You know, maybe we see something from Newbee like a TA come out mid. It is a possible pickup, has been quite popular too. So Storm Spirit already banned out for mid heroes. Jug we've seen a couple times mid. Lena we saw mid a couple days ago.
10 seconds remaining.
Shadow Fiend.
And now they are going to pick up Shadow Fiend on the side of Newbee. So Shadow Fiend, Crystal Maiden, Abaddon, Sand King still need a safe laner to roll with these heroes. Maybe someone who's got you know, another stun for him. I don't expect a Sven against this lineup of LGD. Maybe we see an Ursa come out from Newbee. Someone who gets online kind of early and can work well with the heroes he's given already. And with Sand King, Abaddon, Crystal Maiden, I do like Ursa. The Aphotic Shield, always nice on him. And the mana regen is also pretty solid. And combine that with the slow of Crystal Maiden and Abaddon, and then you've got the lockdown of Crystal Maiden and Sand King. Ursa could be a pretty solid hero for Newbee. And LGD, they do end up going for the Sniper. So Sniper, Timbersaw, Silencer, Slardar for LGD thus far. I do like Shadow Fiend overall in this lineup, especially against the Sniper. Crystal Maiden is not too known for rotations, but if Crystal Maiden does rotate, gets a nice Frostbite, could see a couple of raises go towards Sniper, and he's not that hard of a hero to kill. So last ban is Rubik from Newbee.
10 seconds remaining.
And then let's see what LGD ban out next. I personally, I'm going to stick with that Ursa safe lane for Newbee. We'll see if it gets banned out by LGD, and let's see if I'm right, too. They do get last pick, and for LGD, let's say Timbersaw off-lane Sniper, mid, Slardar 4, Silencer 5. We'll see what the safe lane is for LGD, if that's how they choose to roll it. You know, they still are lacking the stun, as they still, again, only have that Slithering Crush of Slardar, and they do end up going for the Earth Spirit. So, Earth Spirit, Sniper, Timbersaw, Silencer, Slardar. It's an alright lineup. Again, I still believe they lack a little bit of lockdown. Early on, of course, they do have the Rolling Boulder to really harass out mid if they get the opportunity to do so.
5 seconds remaining.
But let's see how Newbee kind of play it. I do like their team fight. I really like this lineup, and they get even more lockdown with the pounce of Slark. So Slark against these heroes can really ball out. He's a hero that can get in the face of Sniper. Sniper not too strong early, and if Slark gets in your face, you could be in a bit of trouble. So we'll have to see what they really are looking for. So we're going to see Slardar, Silencer, Timbersaw, Sniper, Earth Spirit up against the likes of Newbee, Sand King, Abaddon, Crystal Maiden, Shadow Fiend, Slark. I guess everybody's picking their heroes, getting ready to roll. I'll take a sip of my tea. I'm not even British. This is crazy. I don't know how I'm getting tea. And actually, while we're on the subject of tea, before this game starts, I found out that tea could be the drink tea, or even food. Never even knew that. So, we're going to see Faith on the Crystal Maiden, S3C on the Shadow Fiend, U9, with the Timber... No. I don't even remember. There it is. Now it's showing. U9 with the Slark. Got my teams mixed up. Kaka with the Sand King, KP on the Abaddon for Newbee. On the other side for LGD, Yao on the Silencer. Playing the Timbersaw is going to be Ame. And then maybe with the Sniper, Earth Spirit played by M99. And then finally on the Slardar, we do see XZ. So, we'll have to see how these lanes really set up. I do expect KP to be there with Sand King, but right away we do see some aggression from Newbee. There are 4 smoked up. They're looking for a kill, and they definitely have the lockdown to get themselves a nice first blood and get themselves the early advantage. Got the possible Frostbite as well as the Burrow Strike from Kaka and Faith counter respectively. And with U9, if he gets that pounce first, they might be able to find something. They do get the Burrow Strike out onto the Slardar XZ. There's the pounce. He's going to try and TP out, and they do stop it with Faith. and they get the first blood out on S3C, and right away, Newbee, they take an early advantage. So S3C with that early advantage on the Shadow Fiend, that's going to make Sniper's life that much harder, and Faith and Kaka coming over to push maybe out of this bounty rune, and it's even more of a split. Oh, shit. Oh. For Newbee. Oh, boy. So, forgot the overlay already. It's already just terrible for me as a caster. So now coming through is going to be M99 looking for that rolling boulder. I'm not going to be able to find it, not going to be able to look to get a kill on S3C. Let's turn on my settings. I'm forgetting everything right now. So we take a look at this lane. Earth Spirit still looking to find something. Maybe trying to get a kill back, as S3C does have the early advantage already. And maybe he's going to push on forward with this creep wave. They are going to try and look for a rolling boulder eventually. And there's the Slithering Crush. But the pounce is out on XZ. It's not going to be enough to get him out, as he's leashed up by U9. And they get yet another kill down low. So we took a look up top at KP on the Abaddon. He's only 2-0. Yao really pushing him back quite well. And that'll open up Ame to get some farm. We'll take a look down low at XZ, who's already died twice. So XZ down low, U9 already involved in a couple of kills. He's 1-0-1, but only 7-4, so the last hit's not all there for him. But Faith, again, doing a pretty good job down low up against this Slardar. So they are going to be able to push him back in his farm, make that Blink Dagger even further away. And that's really good for the side of Newbee, as they really want to be avoiding the Blink Dagger as long as they can with the Blink Slithering Crush. That might be able to give them a problem. So again, down low. We're actually going to miss it this time around. U9 is going to get another kill on XZ. Yes, I know I forgot the overlay. It is my fault. I am terrible at this. So Newbee up 3-0. Already 3 minutes in, so averaging a kill a minute right now. And there's the Burrow Strike coming out from Kaka. They get both raises, and M99 will end up going down. But now it looks as though S3C might find himself in a little bit of trouble as the shrapnel raining on top of him. He gets the heal from KP. And now actually Yao trying to run away from Kaka, who had that Burrow Strike as well as the Caustic Finale. KP coming through. There's the Rolling Boulder, but KP going to avoid it. He still walks and runs down Yao, and they get yet another kill. They're yet to die on the side of Newbee, and the Aphotic Shield will help KP out and keep them up 5-0. So really this heavy aggression coming in from Newbee, giving LGD such a rough time in the early goings. They're up 5-0 already, and a net worth lead of 1,500 this early on. So really LGD need to find their way back into the game. They need to kind of sit back, find their farm, and at least the silver lining in everything is Ame hasn't really been affected by much of the aggression from Newbee. And let's see if LGD can open up that space and maybe find themselves a couple of kills going forward. Meanwhile, Kaka is actually going to pop that smoke of LGD, but he walks right into their faces, but he gets the Burrow Strike out on 2, just trying to run away. Now U9 will get the pounce and the leash out on XZ, and there's the Frostbite from Faith. Not going to be enough. Now Faith has to run away from Yao, doing a lot of damage on this Crystal Maiden, but both the Crystal Maiden, Faith, and Kaka will be able to walk themselves back towards tower and back towards safety. And it's a failed gank attempt by LGD where they are just continuing to struggle. And it's only 5 minutes in. So the aggression of Newbee just really cementing themselves this early lead. And with that, you know, a Slark is someone who kind of needs a little bit of time to get online, but when you have this early advantage and you can find yourself snowballing pretty well, you know, it should look good for Newbee with this early advantage and the possibility of snowballing like I just said. So KP up here, up against Ame. Ame just continuing to get himself that easy farm 3 in reactive armor. KP, not really much he can do in terms of aggression towards Ame. Ame pretty safe in lane, especially up against just this Abaddon. We take a look over mid as Kaka just roaming around, level 3, 2 in that Burrow Strike, 1 in Caustic Finale. And let's see if he comes down low and maybe Newbee can find themselves yet another kill. Yao comes on over onto Faith. There's the rolling boulder. Is going to land. They might be able to get their first kill on the side of LGD, and they do. But now the Burrow Strike goes the other way on M99. They get the leash of the Pounce, and there's the Dark Pact to do quite a bit of damage. And finding U9 another kill. So he's already on a killing spree. He's 3-0-1 and has enough for those treads and just doing so well in the early goings. So now rolling boulder in again. S3C might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the stun from M99 as well as the shrapnel doing quite a bit of damage. And maybe we'll get a kill back onto S3C. So that's the kind of kill that LGD need to really push themselves back into the game and really chomp back towards this net worth deficit of 2,000. And they've already done so. And Kaka, he's going to get caught out. The assassination coming his way after the Slithering Crush from XZ. And now it's a double kill for Maybe and Newbee. They're getting a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too cocky with their movements. And that's cost them a couple of kills here. So 6-3 in favor of Newbee still, but the net worth now only at 1,000. The aggression Newbee once had kind of falling a little bit still after making a couple of mistakes in a row. So S3C has moved over towards this top lane, and he's protected by Kaka if Timbersaw does choose to come in. But Ame has backed himself up, continuing to just try and farm the woods. So it's an open lane for farm for S3C. We'll see if he stays up top, just continuing to farm up and continue his advantage. As we switch it over to the net worth, we do see it's Ame up first, followed by the Slark, U9, and then S3C on that Shadow Fiend. So 2 cores lead the way of the net worth, 2 out of 3 of that top 3. And it's very good for Newbee, despite only having just a slight advantage up to this point. Kaka does spot M99, and really Ame should be in no trouble up against just the Sand King and the Shadow Fiend, as S3C just trying to farm up and can really do so quite easily with the raises. We take a look down low again as it's just Faith over down low with U9. So U9's had complete control of this lane, has picked himself up those power treads. I'll have to see what this Slark goes for next. Let's take a look over at XZ on the Slardar. He's very far away from this Blink Dagger, something, in my opinion, LGD desperately need to find themselves the initiation that they're really hoping for to possibly turn it around in their favor. They've got the rolling boulder, but that can only do so much. You have to land it. M99 up to this point has done pretty well with it, but you like to have that almost guaranteed stun of a Blink Slithering Crush coming out from a Slardar. Line that up with the rest of LGD, and you could find yourselves a bit of kills for that side. look over mid. KP all alone mid. Meanwhile, down low, it is still just U9 with Faith. Getting a little bit of some open farm. Faith level 5, just about level 6. U9 almost level 8. And here comes 2 up top, maybe, and Yao. We'll see if they do end up going in on Kaka. It should be an easy kill if all 4 of them are here. But Kaka wisely backing off. Doesn't want to be near this tower and really doesn't want to risk any sort of death to give LGD their moment back in. So coming over is Xe, all by his lonesome, just kind of showing himself near KP. Now with S3C here, he's got to back off and really just take care of his own life. Up top, LGD, they're going to try and push this tower, and they should be able to successfully get themselves a Tier 1. Meanwhile, their Tier 1 down low is getting attacked, but not nearly as low. So the TPs come in from LGD. There's the rolling boulder forward. Will get Faith. U9 is very low, so he can't go back in and protect Faith, but Faith just walks off. Now the assassination comes through. There's the stun hitting from N99, and they will not go for the assassination, will not even attempt for the kill, and U9 with that heal will be able to stay close to lane, and maybe, just maybe, Newbee look to turn this around. So 3 here for LGD, now make it 4 with the rotation of Ame. They're looking to take another Tier 1 as they've already got that Tier 1 up top. They haven't lost anything yet on the side of LGD, and they have some pretty solid team fight early on up against Newbee, and that really is what forces them back, and they look for a Tier 1 of their own up top with S3C. So they do get the glyph out. They continue to just push with KP and S3C. And meanwhile, moving over towards mid is M99 and Yao. They might be looking for a kill over mid with XZ around the corner. He still is yet to have that Blink Dagger, but with a Rolling Boulder coming in on Faith, it would be the slow they possibly need to come in. It's actually going to miss, but they do get the stun to follow it up. The Frostbite's out on XZ, but there's a big 2-man Burrow Strike from Kaka. The Slithering Crush will stop KP and Kaka, so it looks as though it will just be a stalemate, but Kaka continuing to move forward, knows he's got Burrow Strike in just a moment, gets silenced up, and will end up using it to bring down M99. So now trying to run away is Yao. He gets by maybe and XZ. So he has found himself freedom and his life, as now all of Newbee has shown up mid. So they'll take the kill for Newbee. Opens up some space for U9, as he is looking for that Shadow Blade and only 25 gold away from getting it. Meanwhile, up top in a bit of trouble is this Earth Spirit. Does get the stun out on both KP and Kaka. And now the Slithering Crush comes through on Faith. Faith getting very low. And there's the Chakram thrown out by Ame. Just trying to line it up on Faith. The assassination will fly through. And they do end up getting a return kill on Crystal Maiden after losing their Earth Spirit. So a 1-for-1 trade. 8-4 in favor of Newbee, and the net worth now raising upwards of 4,000 in their favor as well. So Ame, without a kill up to this point, looking for the Bloodstone next. And the turnarounds have been pretty solid for LGD. They do get themselves 1 in Faith. Maybe they could have had a couple more had they played it the right way. And U9, he's got to know there's a ward here. There is the ping out. As the health regen no longer there for him. They should be getting a D ward on their side soon. There's a ward up here, just spot Kaka, so M99 is going to be looking for a Rolling Boulder. Comes all the way through a little bit short, but there's the stun, and now with Ame coming through, he'll get his first kill this time on Kaka. So an easy kill after the stun from M99, and now there's the pounce leashed up is Ame. Found himself in a little bit of trouble. The Frostbite, he's going to have to try and TP out, and should be able to successfully do so as there's no more stun from Newbee. And he does get out 9 stacks of Essence Shift for U9, but not enough to get themselves the kill. So smoked up is LGD. As trying to de-ward is Kaka. The Blink Dagger now out for XZ, and they just place another ward. It will grant themselves a little bit of vision. Let's see if they can find anything for LGD with this three-man smoke. So they come on over, and now the smoke will be revealed. They have the vision. There's the Blink with the Slither and Crush. The Shrapnel on top of S3C. He's getting run down, and he's going to try and get out. That Requiem of Souls does get it. But it's not going to do anything as he does end up falling to Yao. So now coming through is U9. There is a Sentry Ward to spot him, and 3 are turning it around. There's the Burrow Strike out on 2. Global Silence is used by Yao. They're trying to chase down Kaka, and there it is with the Timber Chain as well as the Chakram. And the Whirling Death, the assassination flies through from Kaka, but now it looks as though U9's going to try and turn it around for the side of Newbee. He gets in there with a nice pounce, gets the Dark Pack off, and will find himself a return kill on Yao, but nothing more. He was in between 4 heroes, does get out with his life, and gets a kill of his own. So it's a 1-for-1 trade-ish as it's 2 separate engagements. Shadow Fiend for a Silencer favoring LGD. I probably should switch the terrain back to normal after this game 1. So Ame getting ever so close to that Bloodstone. We take a look over at maybe he's got that Dragon Lance looking for the Mjolnir next, and the 2 of them show themselves while the other 3 do back up and smoke up. Maybe looking to make an aggressive play out on Newbee as they are setting up nearby XE. He does have that Blink with the Slither and Crush if they choose to go in. They continue to go after this Tier 1, and no real return coming out from Newbee at all. Coming around is XE, going around the trees. There's the Blink in with the Slither and Crush. The Rolling Boulder comes out. He's now silenced up, and he will fall yet again. So they lose the Shadow Fiend. They'll lose Faith trying to get that ulti off. Now U9 surrounded by the entire side of LGD. And it might be a little bit of trouble, but maybe getting very low. There's the Magnetize out from M99. They get the kill. They'll turn it around. They'll get another 4 die on Newbee. It's a double kill for XZ. And LGD, they end up taking the first to 10 kills, 10-9. And they have taken this game. Or not taken the game, but they've taken the advantage in this game. So they've now started to pull the net worth in their favor. Should go a bit back towards even. So they do deny the bottom tier 1. It's been very good in the last 5 minutes for LGD. So with this Blink Dagger, like I said, from XZ, they've been setting up a lot of aggressive plays, a lot of aggressive moves with the smokes. And they found themselves the lead in kills and evening it out in net worth. Now Newbee, they kind of have to sit back, farm up, try and get those next couple of items out for them. But while I say that, they completely disregard it, and they go for the smoke play. There's the Shadow Blade from U9. All 5 are in Viz now, looking for a possible play on to LGD. They head over towards the direction of Ame, but he's back behind this tier 2 too far. So it doesn't look as though the smoke play is going to work out for Newbee. A solid retreat from LGD, and they look to gather up themselves down low and maybe look to return the favor. They do end up pushing back Newbee down low, and Newbee back up. They continue to farm. What I had said earlier is that they were going to continue to farm. And now after that failed smoke attempt, they do go back to doing so, and they are looking for a 4-staff out on Kaka. He's already got that Blink. We take a look over at S3C as the Dragon Lance now looking for a BKB, really needs it to survive up against LGD at the time being. And the Bloodstone finished for Ame. We'll see if he can finish off any of these, or be near any of these kills to add some of these charges towards the Bloodstone and really start to snowball the hero of Timbersaw. For XZ, has that Blink Dagger, now goes for a pretty late Midas to push himself back forward. And then we take another look over at Maybe, who has finished off that Maelstrom, but is not going for the Mjolnir just yet. So actually, we take a look down low. The Burrow Strike out on XZ as well as the Pounce. They do get a kill, but now trying to turn it around is LGD. They get the assassination out with the Chakra thrown forward. There is the silence from M99, getting very low as Kaka, finished off by Maybe. And it is a return kill going the way of LGD. And TPing out is U9. It's a Bloodstone charge for Ame. It's a 5-man rotation to get that kill, but right now LGD, not LGT, will take it. But with doing so, with the big rotations, they miss this Roche. So Newbee, they'll sacrifice the life of Kaka just to get this Aegis out onto S3C. It pushes him even closer to that BKB. And Newbee, well, looking shaky for the last 7 minutes or so. Really trying to get back in, and hopefully they will be able to do so with the BKB. They are looking to make a move over towards LGD. They do spot out Yao. Yao getting very low. There's a big raise. And an easy kill goes the way of S3C.
What have we here?
So now 11 pop, and net worth back up there towards 4,000 for S3C. Top of the net worth is this Shadow Fiend, and really close to the BKB, but next on the list is both the Timbersaw, Ame, and actually they get the TPs over, and Ame's looking to try and get out. The Burrow Strike is avoided. Ame still might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the Timber Chain to find himself some space. So with the Burrow Strike missing from Kaka, they're not able to get themselves the kill, but he's still continuing to retreat, as he does not have a TP scroll, so he's got to walk all the way back, and that's what's put him into trouble here, as there's the Epicenter charged up as well as the Requiem to finish him off. But Ame will deny himself with the Bloodstone, so they throw the Epicenter, they throw the Requiem of Souls, but he makes a nice cheeky move in just denying himself. Wow. So they use quite a bit just to end up with a deny. Really not what they're looking for. KP going to walk right into the hands of XZ. There's the Slithering Crush. They're going to pop the Aphotic Shield. The Assassination out on him too. But no real follow-up coming out from LGD, as they are just looking to get themselves a tier 2 as Maybe continues to damage. So they're still sitting nearby. KP going to scout it out as XZ is ready to blink Slithering Crush when he can. Moving in is KP. There it is. There's the blink Slithering Crush hitting away as Maybe they're going to pop that ulti of KP. He'll just back off behind the tier 2. Meanwhile, up top, Kaka just continuing to wipe out these creep waves with the Caustic Finale. And over here is U9. So they're going to try and take their own tier 2 as they're keeping LGD pretty busy down low. So they don't end up trading tier 2s. Maybe gets credit for the tier 2 down low. And TPing over is Ame to defend the tier 2 up top. So Kaka does show himself. There's the Burrow Strike as well as the TP out. The Rolling Boulder through. They get the stun, so a bit of an aggressive play from Kaka is going to cost him his life, as Ame gets another to the Bloodstone tally, but after that sacrifice, it only makes it 9. But interesting play coming out from Kaka altogether. Blinks in, gets the Burrow Strike, but with the Earth Spirit right behind him, he does get the stun, stops the TP, and Kaka does end up falling. So 12 to 11 in favor of LGD, but still down 4,000 net worth. We take a look over at Yao. He's got himself that Midas. And he's got himself some pretty nice boots, going for the mech next. And then over at XZ, he had picked up that Midas, and it looks to be going for a Yules. Over out on Maybe, he's picked up that Dragon Lance as well as the Maelstrom. Now the Yasha looks to be finishing it off for an SNY, and then Ame over looking for the Shiva's Guard. So these next items coming out soon, but meanwhile, Kaka blinks in as well as the Burrow Strike. The Global Silence is out from the Silencer, but it's not doing too much to really deter Newbee. It just helps LGD back off. They get the kill out on XZ. They'll farm up this little side jungle by the secret shop. And they might just reset and go for the tier 2. Maybe looking for a kill. Ame a bit far out. There's the blink in as well as the Burrow Strike coming out from Kaka. They're continuing to move in. There's the Frostbite. The Requiem of Souls with the BKB is popped by S3C. The Epicenter comes through, but it doesn't look to be on much. Another Frostbite on Ame. He's still alive. The Burrow Strike as well as the Pounce. Ame getting very low, and KP will get the kill. It's 3-0 in favor of Newbee. The assassination out on the Abaddon, but really not doing too much. So they get the tier 2. They get 3 kills for Newbee. And it's a 1,200 net worth shift heading towards a 6,000 net worth lead. So LGD, while they've looked pretty strong in previous fights, it wasn't the best exchange for them. Ame getting a little bit too far forward. He's by the tier 2, while maybe in his head he thought that was safe. You know that Newbee's right on the other side of those stairs. They do get the blink with the Burrow Strike, and that's really what started the decimation of LGD. So, despite being behind LGD, they're going to smoke up. Try and look for a couple kills of their own. Not under the Observer Ward this time around for a smoke. And coming over is XZ. If he can set up a nice blink, Slithering Crush, LGD can find themselves a nice team fight, get a couple of kills of their own, and sort of extend this game. Work towards more, but XZ gets his smoke broken by Faith, and now they're kind of just caught in this jungle with nothing really to do towards the aggression of Newbee. So LGD is going to have to back off. Meanwhile, Newbee is going to look to push up top. So we take a look. S3C's got that BKB very close to the Butterfly, finished in full. And then over on U9, he's got that Echo Saber as well as the Shadow Blade, and the Courier is going to be bringing over a BKB of his own. So they'll push this tier 2, maybe force a rotation out from LGD, the assassination from U9, as well as the Slithering Crush. But they still end up losing the tower, and now with the Aphotic Shield out on U9, maybe he looks to make an aggressive play with the Shadow Blade. He does have that BKB, maybe something that LGD have not noticed just yet. They've placed the Sentry Ward. They would have vision of U9, and he makes the wise decision to just TP out. So they lose the tower up top for LGD. Looking for a BKB now is Maybes. He's got that SNY, Dragonlance, Maelstrom, and the farm is pretty okay for him. Sitting second on the net worth, but 4,000 behind the Shadow Fiend. So there's a big split between the 1 and 2 on the net worth chart. And then next up would be that Slark, who now with that BKB could feel a little bit more confident in these team fights. Newbee coming on over towards the shrine up top. There's the blink with the Burrow Strike in a bunch of trouble as XZ. A couple of raises come out from S3C to get that kill. So XZ falls. And Newbee, they might be looking for more. There's the force step forward. He's under the Sentry Ward, blinking away his M99. The Pounce already used, so can't leash him up. They won't be able to get themselves another kill with this set aggression. LGD really sitting kind of on their heels, is now down to 6 Bloodstone charges as this Timbersaw has picked up the Shiva's Guard, but the team as a whole down by 10,000 net worth, really lack a bit in team fight compared to Newbee. That could definitely cause them a bit of an issue looking forward in this game. So they look towards Roche, not up yet. Another minute 20 till it's up. And Newbee, they'll feel content to really wait with this. There's no reason to really force a move out on LGD, but even if they do now at this point, they take a fight, it should set them up for Roche, knowing that it might be up soon enough. So they do use the smoke, they do look for the play to be made, and Ame very nearby as they are going to look for that blink burrow strike. He's out by these creeps, and Kaka is spotted, so that'll push LGD back, but LGD just sitting on the side. There's the blink, so they're in crush. Burrow strike gonna miss from Kaka. They get the assassination out. There's the Shiva's Guard, but U9 trying to go in on this Timbersaw will be rooted up by the Frostbite. S3C already has a kill out on XZ on the back end, and now trying to chase down LGD as Newbee, as they've only gotten themselves 1 kill just yet. There's the Global Silence, as well as the Dark Pack BKB is used by U9 after the Global Silence. They get another kill, or actually it's a kill going the way of maybe out on Kaka. And now this one is U9 over Yao. So a 2-for-1 trade. A bit of a sloppy fight from both sides. But with those couple of kills and Roche back up in the next minute or so, it should lock up the Aegis for Newbee. And possibly their first look at going high ground mid. So coming over again is LGD, as they have moved over for this Roche, getting very low. Ame is not going to make it into the pit, but meanwhile, looks as though S3C is going to fall. There's the ulti used by Faith. It's actually U9 who gets very low. He'll fall. Faith as well. They're still trying to go for this Roche. They don't have the ulti out on the Abaddon. KP will fall. 4 dead on Newbee. They give up the Aegis. And LGD, they take a very big turnaround fight for this game. Turn it around by 4,900 net worth. Take out 4, lose none. Take the Aegis as well, and oh boy. Newbee, they throw quite a bit of a lead. They'll lose this tier 2 over mid. Possibly the tier 3 is 4 dead. It's falling apart at the seams. So they're going to go for the tier 3 to open up these shrines. Back up is Faith. They will glyph these towers to try and extend it a little bit longer to let the Sark U9 get back up, but 5 more seconds is all that LGD will need to get this tower. And they do start their retreat, as well as the assassination out on Kaka, who does get the burrow strike on XE. He's trying to be a little bit aggressive on the high ground up here. There's the blink, slithering crush, and with last word and a couple more hits from Yao, they do get the kill. So maybe not what Newbee needed this moment in time, as Kaka gets caught out. U9 getting very low. He's going to have to get healed up just a bit from KP, as well as the Shrine. Now LGD, they're still continuing to move on and looking for this set of racks over mid. So Newbee, they get very close to actually just losing the game. U9 gets very low in that exchange, just gets saved by the Shrine as well as KP, but with the Solark going down, that could have been the end right there and then. So now Newbee, the ones sitting back on their heels. They've lost this 10,000 net worth lead. LGD, they feel like they're in the driver's seat, and they are looking as like they are in that spot here for me too. That was a horrible sentence structure. are looking to try and get U9. The blink with the Slithering Crush does hit him, but they don't have any vision for this Slark. And now he might just look to retreat as he realizes everybody from LGD is right around the corner. Yeah, I gotta change the settings back to default terrain. I like the winter terrain, but not on my own channel anymore. So actually we take a look up top again. Blink, Slithering Crush. They get the kill on Kaka. There's the Yules out on KP, but the pounce comes in on M99. He finds himself a bit too far out. KP with the Global Silence is going to get that heal back up. The BKB is popped by S3C. He's going to pop the Requiem, but really not near anybody as they've already lost Faith. So 2 dead for Newbee. They look to get maybe 1 in return on Yao. They do get it. It's a double kill for U9 and still trying to chase down LGD, but coming in is Ame as well as XZ. KP getting very low. The Chakram's going to get him close to dead, and with the Timber Chain, they do find it. The Epicenter comes through, as well as U9 from Kaka. And they do get a third. This time it's going to be out on Maybe, so 3 dead for 2. They get the Burrow Strike out on Ame. He's in a little bit of trouble. U9 is trying to find himself a kill. They get very close. Kaka still in range for a Burrow Strike, but Ame tries to turn it around to get a kill before he goes down and won't do so. So 4 fall on LGD. Meanwhile, Newbee, they only lose 3. It was actually the Sand King returning with that minus 30-second respawn time. So even at 21, almost 5,000 net worth lead again for Newbee, but we've seen them thrown more. They need to kind of play a bit cleaner if they don't want to lose this game. They've got their tier 3 down in the mid lane, and then they have those shrines open, so the Roche control could be gone in just a moment if they're not too careful. That fight definitely could have gone completely for Newbee, but the Requiem wasn't really on anybody, and almost, you could say, wasted. But it was the nice increase to get themselves a couple of kills for Newbee. So Lotus Orb out for KP, looking for a Radiance next. He is very far away from that one. That is sweet dreaming for an Abaddon. S3C, he's got himself that Orchid, Butterfly, Dragonlance, and looking to make it a Bloodthorn, which would be pretty nice for him, considering after the Requiem and what he's got on his team would be enough to really take down anybody on LGD very quickly, combined with that Bloodthorn. Faith, Force Staff, no Glimmer Cape, which I'd like to see on this Crystal Maiden. U9 with the Silver Edge, now a gem, looking for a Scotty next. So coming over is LGD, no wards for Newbee in this area. Let's see if LGD make the aggressive play. They now know that that ward's gone. They know there's a gem on U9, and the smoke play is out from Newbee to try and take it to LGD. They don't want to be the ones on defense. They want to be the aggressors, and they are coming through. U9 leading the charge. There's a Sentry Ward down to spot him. There's a Slithering Crush, but it's not going to be enough as the BKB is popped. Yao getting very low. The Global Silence comes out. Kaka already dead. They're still trying to find something as on the back end, the Requiem is used. They'll get themselves 2. It'll be Maybe dying next, and Ame's popped that BKB, but he is in the middle of trouble. They try to get the Blink, Slithering Crush. They do get it out on Faith as well as the Magnetize. S3C might be the one who's in a little bit of trouble now, but U9 trying to finish it off. He'll die. The Requiem death is there, and M99 alive for a little bit longer. Does get the stun out on U9, but will fall. So 3 dead on LGD. They get the Frostbite, and now they might even look to kill Ame. Timber Chains forward towards Faith. Now broken with that Silver Edge hit. Really stumbling over my words right now. So Ame still trying to run away, but Kaka, he's found him, does get the Burrow Strike out, and there's the Frostbite to follow it up. U9 hitting very hard, and they will get themselves a kill. So he's dead. 54 seconds, does have buyback. The Yules will save the life for XZ just a little bit longer. And he will be able to blink out of vision, but he's now trying to TP away. And does do so in the trees. So he gets out. The only life spared by Newbee. Take a look at the fight recap. It's 4 for 2. They do lose S3C as well as Kaka. Kaka dying early in that fight, but with the minus 30-second respawn, found himself back in it for really the second phase of it. So just a continuous back and forth between these two teams, something you really like to see, especially in a league like DPL, where maybe not as important to the players, but when they give us the excitement this game has held, it's pretty nice to see. So MKB picked up for maybe looking for a Hurricane Pike next. He's got the Mjolnir, and the MKB finished off at 20,000 net worth, sits in front of the Slark, but still behind S3C. However, S3C was taken out pretty quickly in that fight overall. Maybe that kind of saved LGD for a little bit longer, but they still ended up losing 4 for 2. And it could have been a complete team wipe had S3C survived the onslaught. So Ame in the jungle does get spotted by Kaka, trying to TP out. And there's the Yules used to keep him nearby. Coming over his S3C, the BKB is going to be forced out from Ame. And they won't be able to follow it up with anything from Newbee. Ame will walk away with his life. And Newbee go right on back to farming. Farm away, trying to get this Sark a little bit more as he's got that finished Scotty, so he's ready to fight. And they look towards Roche, which is up. And the last time they fought towards Roche, it didn't exactly go their way. So they got to be very careful, trying to take it down quickly with that Bloodthorn. And all 5 are here for Newbee, ready to defend just in case. And they do end up taking down Roche. It's Aegis and Cheese, and Newbee should be looking to fight afterwards. So now no Aegis, no Cheese for LGD. They can only just sit back and wait, and they do have pretty solid high ground defense in maybe an Ame. But if either of them do fall, it could definitely be trouble for the towers as well as the racks on the high ground. And the team fight of Newbee is very solid. They have some good fighting potential, and they have some good tower takedown in Shadow Fiend as well as this Sark U9. LGD, they know they need a little bit more farm, know they need to kind of get their next items. We take a look over at Xe, who's found himself the Yules, the Ghost Scepter, the Force Staff, and the Blink Dagger. Of course, we've already said that maybe has that Mjolnir. Now finished up with that Hurricane Pike, and yeah, he did have Ags queued up, but now he's looking for a Force Staff of his own. And while all that is said and done, Newbee, they're looking to take out this Tier 2, the last outer tower for LGD. They should look to continue to be aggressive. Meanwhile, up top is Ame pushing this creep wave to try and take a Tier 2. And it will force out the rotations of Newbee. So they force the rotations out. The catapult. One more. Not going to find it. So alive with 7 health. No deny. And they do successfully, I guess, defend that Tier 2. So interestingly enough, even with the Aegis and Cheese, both teams are sitting pretty far back, all things considered. U9, he is farming up top, and the rest of the team is on the way, but not the aggressiveness that I thought we'd see from Newbee after getting the Aegis. You know, they are are roaming around the map, but they just are continuously pushing out the creep waves, and to me it seems as though they're kind of just avoiding the engagement with LGD. So they push this creep wave all the way to the tier 3, pretty much quickly exterminated by Maybe. As S3C does the same, there's the assassination out on him, and meanwhile mid Kaka using the caustic finale to push that lane as well. So they're keeping the pressure on these two lanes, and down low they're actually getting pressured onto this tower as the creep wave's coming on through, and with the Aegis and Cheese still, Newbee look to back off and just continue farming. So almost towards that level 25 is Slark. We'll see if he goes for the 3-second pounce leash or the plus 12 stats. And that should be coming in soon. He's just about there. We take a look over at S3C. He's level 25. He's picked up the attack range, the damage per souls, and sometimes you see that combination of the damage per souls with the Ags, but no Ags for S3C this time around as he's picked up the Bloodthorn. Now a Satanic. It does have a BKB, but it's down to 6 seconds. Take a look over at the other side. Maybe he's only level 22, but does still have just the Mjolnir, Hurricane Pike, and MKB. While over mid, M99 might have been caught out. He tries to Rolling Boulder away. They will just step up in front of him. U9 going to get kicked away. There's the Yules coming out from Kaka, as well as the Burrow Strike. Faith will find the kill. So Newbee, they take one off the board, and they're almost at these tier 3s with the creep wave. And they should look to continue to push on forward. So Slithering Crush comes on through. There's the Burrow Strike out on Maybe. But backing off is U9 and Kaka. But meanwhile, down low, S3C is looking for a tier 3. So they are split pushing pretty effectively right now. As over mid is U9 and down low was S3C, but they've now had their Aegis reclaimed, so let's see if they continue forward. They do end up getting the Aegis reclaimed. They back off, they farm even more, and to me, the way Newbee have been playing, I wouldn't be surprised to see them sit back and wait for another Roche. So Newbee sit back even more. LGD, they're scared at their base, just looking to defend. And these tier 3s are still up, but they don't feel too comfortable or confident to really leave their base too far and go past the river looking for a couple of kills of their own. They see that these side camps have been cleared out. They'll try to farm as much as they can near their base and near their towers. It's really just the lack of aggression from Newbee, despite being up 10,000 net worth. They know that with one bad fight, it can all turn around. And with both teams playing as, I'd say, sloppily as they've been playing, maybe they kind of know that they've been a bit off their marks and don't want to give up another 10,000 gold lead. We've already seen it once before. So grouping up as 5 is Newbee. Quite a bit of time until we do see that Roche, but there's the blink with the Slithering Crush. BKB popped by XZ, and coming in is U9. The Global Silence is there. It looks as though they might lose one in Kaka, and they do. He's down for 53 seconds. No buyback. There's the Requiem getting charged up. Will hit on a couple, but they've still yet to find themselves anything for Newbee. LGD, they've taken out one. They continue to push forward. And they haven't lost anybody, so they can show their aggression, but do ultimately choose to heal up at the shrine. So they back up once again, clean up this top creep wave as it's getting close to their top tier 3. Despite getting the kill on Kaka, knowing that he's dead for at least 56 seconds, you don't know if he has buyback or not. But they don't make an aggressive move forward on the retreating Newbee. So both teams being very hesitant about making their next big play. Both teams spotted each other mid. The team fight didn't go well for Newbee. They lost Kaka early on, and with that, they just decided to go back. They do want to continue to just generate an advantage and maybe look for the high ground a little bit later. We are 51 minutes into this game. 26-24 for Newbee, as well as a 10,000 net worth lead. But LGD, they've been getting close to winning these fights. And again, one wrong move from either team could cause them to lose the game. And there it is with the Burrow Strike coming out from Kaka. The BKBs are already pop-up, maybe doing a lot of damage to U9, who's forced to retreat. There's the Timber Chain forward. Ame looking to take advantage. And now they're continuing to come in. There's the Assassinate out on KP. Will pop the ulti. And now Ame locked up by the Frostbite. BKB pop by S3C. He'll back off. And nobody lost on either side. But it does sort of lock up this Roche area for LGD, with Roche respawning in just a minute. So they have the tier 3 down mid. And they're going to try and take this shrine. Coming over is Newbee to stop this sort of Shrine Roche play, and if they could get the Shrine out and maybe take 1 or 2 out on Newbee, they will just concede the next Aegis and Cheese. But coming over with a 4-step as well as the Burrow Strike out on Ame is Kaka, trying to make a play, but now he's found himself in a whole bunch of trouble and now dead. So he's dead for 51 seconds, and KP immediately in trouble, surrounded by the rest of LGD. There's the stun coming in from M99, there's the Chakrams, and he does actually get out. He affords himself the ability to blink away. They still only just lose Kaka. Roche back up in about 10 seconds. And LGD still control this top part of the river. So this isn't the first time I've casted a marathon of a game. Recently had that 80-minute is GG versus Maple Story Gods. But now it looks as though S3C might have found himself a little bit of trouble. The blink with the Slither and Crush BKB, and TPing out will be the Shadow Fiend. So he TPs out with his life, but will concede the next shrine. LGD pressuring Newbee really well. Despite the disadvantage of a 12,000 net worth lead, LGD, they're making it feel like they're the ones who have the advantage. They continue to push these creep waves past the river, try to secure this top river area, and with that, they'll look to take this Roche. But nearby is Newbee with KP, Faith, and Kaka, but really far back is S3C, so they want to go in on this, but I'm not too sure. Without the Shadow Fiend, they'll do a good job at taking this Roche. Coming through now with the boosted travel is S3C. They've got the Yules out on Ame. He's all by himself. BKB's popped by both U9 and Ame. Ame will get away with the Timber Chain, and now we look up top as the fight rages on. Kaka gets the Burrow Strike. They finally get a kill out on Yao. He'll immediately buy back. M99 in a bit of trouble, does use that Ghost Scepter to find himself an escape, and coming through is Ame with the double Chakram. So LGD still here and still with the Global Silence. And there it is used as U9. He's caught in a lot of trouble. He'll end up going down 99 seconds. But he does have buyback. Shrapnel comes through. There's the Yules out on Faith. Buying back is U9. They look to get the kill on Faith with the Epicenter from Kaka, as well as the Burrow Strike comes on through. Maybe gets a double kill, killing off Faith. So Newbee, they're just trying to get one in return, and it may be. And it will be him getting finished off by Kaka, and he'll buy back. They'll lose XC as well as M99. Newbee trying to start the advantage. There's the Requiem falling through. Yao's already bought back. He's locked up a bit as U9 trying to still get this kill out on Ame. Blink over with the Slithering Crush, maybe getting very low. Remember, he just bought back, trying to chase him down as KP gets that heal from the Shrine, so KP very deep. Yules comes through out on XC. He'll go down. That's 110 seconds with no buyback, and this big, long, raging fight has caused LGD to be without 2 heroes as they have no more buyback or have already bought back.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So 3 heroes buyback on LGD. They lose a 4th in M99, and that will be enough to secure Roche for Newbee. So another set of Aegis and Cheese for Newbee. The Aegis out for Slark, and now let's see if Newbee, knowing they have an advantage after the multitude of buybacks from LGD, look to finish this game or even just secure a tier 3 and high ground.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Sometimes it seems in these Chinese Dota games they're going the Civ route and looking for the economic victory. Not looking for the war victory. Are these Civ jokes doing anything for you guys? No? Whatever. So Burrow Strike comes through on Ame, but no follow-up from Newbee. Sitting back is Faith, just trying to clear up this creep wave. Meanwhile, they do get the tier 3 bottom coming very deep as S3C forced to use that BKB. KP forced to use that ult as he backs off. So Newbee, though, try to back off, reset, and go again. So Newbee, after kind of faulting on that initiation towards the high ground, they back up towards these creep waves, continue to look and farm and push, and they want to really just secure the advantage before they go up. And actually finding themselves a little bit too far out is Yao. He gets pulled back in by M99, but not to the low ground. There's the pounce with the Silver Edge, and he will fall dead for 90 seconds. So they end up losing Yao. He's dead for 90. There's the assassination. Will pop the aphotic shield placed there by KP. And maybe they can get themselves the mid-tier 3. LGD maybe looking to make a play. Possible blink and Slithering Crush as the Corrosive Haze already out and purged by S3C as well as KP. So there is the blink with the Slithering Crush, and actually, U9 getting very low already, so he's going to have to back off. There's the Bloodthorn out on Ame, and the BKB popped by S3C. Retreating already is Newbee, and the assassination comes through, but the Aphotic Shield again saves his life. But coming in is Ame, might have found himself a little bit too far out. There's the Chakrams pushing back Newbee. Won't be able to find anything again with that high ground push. Tier 3 is overall dead. Down low on LGD's side, but other than that, Newbee, they didn't really accomplish much.
I'll take your tribute.
So LGD just looking to continue to hold as they've now struggled themselves to a 20,000 net worth deficit. And it's really, they need to find themselves getting a nice high ground defense to maybe look for a push of their own. It's hard to really go out there knowing you're down by so much and knowing that when a bunch of your heroes have already bought back, and let's see if they do have buyback. Only Timbersaw, only Ame. You know you can't go out too far and risk losing the game just like that. So all shrines now taken out of this game, and both sides just continuing to farm up as much as they can. Looking for the Abyssal Blade next is U9. A little bit of lockdown for their side, and really just continuing to farm both ends. No aggression, no certainty looking come from any team. with the back and forths we've seen from both sides, it just seems to be a bit of uncertainty from both sides, really, that's affecting them from wanting to go in. And when you've got that much uncertainty, it can affect your team fights. As we've seen a couple of times throughout this hour matchup. So now, looking for a Daedalus is maybe. E-Blade from M99. Yeah, we see he does have that mech. And we'll be looking for an E-Blade of his own. XZ, he's got himself the Force Staff and has had that BKB now down to 6-second duration. And he's got the Yules there too, so a bit of utility coming out from XZ, but they haven't really been able to make it work. We see a 5-man smoke coming out from Newbee. Smoke comes through from LGD, but immediately spotted out. There's the BKB with a Slithering Crush. That's going to whiff. And coming through is Newbee just trying to finish off the game. They continue to hit away at Yao. Not going to find anything just yet is either side. And having to pounce to the low ground is Newbee. They get the Epicenter out on Ame. Not doing too much damage. Now we get the Slideshow coming in from Chinese Dota. And there's the Blink with the Slithering Crush and an engagement full of ultimates. And nothing done just yet. The Bro Strike does land on Maybe. He gets very low, forced to move on back, but there's the big Requiem that Newbee were looking for. They finally get a kill on Ame. They force him to buy back. And with that, they have to defend this top tier 3 as it's almost dead just to creeps. Trying to get a couple of kills on the return is LGD. They look towards U9. He's going to be stunned up once again. He does get the Purge. M99 moving forward, and there's the Burrow Strike to extend the space between them and LGD. But coming on over is Ame. They get the kill on Faith. That's the gem on the table. So there is the Dagon 2 from the Timbersaw. So now no Faith for 74 seconds. Buyback from Ame. Let's see if LGD kind of keep the aggression. As both teams, they've fought, and then they've just backed off. So Yao going to be spotted out. Burrow Strike, and the follow-up from the rest of the team will be enough. The Dagon comes through on Kaka, who's on that high ground. There's the Chakraman as well as the Timber Chain. Deep behind enemy lines. LGD's going to have to run away. There's the buyback coming in from Faith. XZ getting very low to the hits from S3C. The Burrow Strike comes in from Kaka, who's going to use that Sandstorm, but he's still continuing to get hit. Maybe will eventually fall, but he still has buyback, so he's dead for 2 minutes. Still has buyback. They've killed out Yao as well. And Newbee marched down mid with the 2 kills they secured, probably trying to force out the buyback of Maybe. Meanwhile, up top, Ame going to push this creep wave. He'll now TP back. Maybe will buy back, and there's the Burrow Strike out on M99, getting very low, but he'll survive with the Ghost Scepter. Backing up his Kaka, the Assassination comes out, but will just continue to survive. They finally get themselves the first Rax. It's a melee Rax, but S3C very low. Slithering Crush. Force Staff going to get him back with his team, keep him alive, but again, U9 very low with the BKB. Ame going to charge on forward, maybe look for a kill, but does a bow face. And that's it. So 1 Rax dead, it's a melee Rax mid. And they do force out the buyback of Maybe putting LGD again on their heels.
I'll take your tribute.
This will come in handy.
So going over in Roche is LGD, trying to make a pretty tight play here as they are behind, and again, no buyback on this sniper. They only have buyback left on XZ and M99, so if they lose another, that's really just it. So they really do need this Aegis to keep themselves in it, especially in a team fight where 1 death on a core means that's it. So they get the Aegis out on Maybe, which Definitely very much needed, as he's found himself low in these fights a couple of times, just a bit too far out. And it's really caused him to have to back up, not really participate as much as maybe he'd like to. And that could be what's causing LGD to lose these team fights.
I'll take that.
So they are the ones now who grab the Aegis and cheese and just back off. It's rinse, repeat, insanity. It's basically where we're at in this game, is Newbee and LGD. They just continue to farm up and really wait to find themselves securing an advantage.
Invisibility.
So XZ comes down low, does use that Slither Crush, the Burrow Strike across the bow of XZ, and Kaka is safe over in these trees and will be able to TP out. So nothing done, no harm done to Kaka as he gets back to base, and meanwhile Abyssal Blade is finished off for U9. And maybe this is the item that Newbee have been waiting for. So we take a look over mid. LGD marching down just a little bit. Meanwhile up top, that's where Newbee lay. And LGD, they might just be looking to force something out of Newbee, knowing it's kind of all or nothing. So the creeps get pushed back again. S3C looking for the refresher orb. And he's really been a quick death in a bunch of these fights. You know, he's found himself picked off a couple of times. He's been barely able to get one Requiem off, and let alone possibly two. So coming in, looking for the Blink Slithering Crush is XZ. He's going to get hit by that Burrow Strike. He oozed up. Now he might have find himself in a little bit of trouble. There's the Abyssal Blade through the BKB, and there it is. One kill goes the way of Newbee. There's the Burrow Strike coming out on Maybe. He's very far forward with the Bloodthorn, but he will be able to stay alive just a little bit longer. The Aegis will be popped. There's the Requiem of Souls. And now without M99, they lose another in Yao. Ame getting very low. It looks as though they'll lose maybe here too. He'll fall. 2 minutes, no buyback. Ame will be the last one alive, and he'll fall. As it is a complete and utter team wipe for Newbee. So buybacks there from XZ, but he's the only one alive, and Newbee now they look to push out mid. Finally look to get their second racks in the range racks in this mid lane, and with that they continue to push, and it's enough for LGD just to call GG. So game one does end up going the way of Newbee. They started with a 10,000 gold lead, threw it all the way back. LGD, they were back and forth for almost 70 minutes. And it was finally that last fight, bottom, which ended up going the way of Newbee and winning them this game. So game one goes their way. We'll be back with game two in a moment. I mean, I know that wasn't the best of casts. I really do apologize for it. Always trying to get better. I'm going to change this winter skin and hopefully be back with no draft screw-ups in the beginning and just kind of getting comfortable casting again for you guys. So again, sorry about that. A little choppy casting, really just not too great. And, you know, we'll be back with game two. Hopefully it gets a little bit better.